Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa buddhang dhammang sanghang namassami. Today, as we discussed last time, we are discussing various aspects of Dhamma practice and how these obstacles sometimes, like for example, when you are progressing in your meditation and then uh, like there's a big surge, big wave of emotions or feelings or certain types of thoughts that comes many times. Sometimes it may even come for days together or even weeks. And it is important to maintain the mindfulness and wisdom and stability of the mind during those times to make further progress. And if you just say you are just practicing anapanasati or you are just observing the sensations, sometimes this may not it may not be strong enough to counter these certain mental tendencies or uh, thoughts or feelings which are coming like waves, very powerful waves. So we also need something extra to manage, to balance out our mind during those times, and that is the what we call the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha, the triple refuge, triple gem. Buddha is the one who was enlightened by his own unparalleled effort, without any guide, without any teacher, without anything. He made efforts, strived for many lives, for a very long time, to understand how things work, what are the way of nature, the way of things, way of human life, way of all existence, way of all other lower than humans, way which is higher than humans, everything, how things work basically, how the cycle of samsara goes on and how it can be broken. All this he has, he did fulfill his paramis, and in the process of fulfilling his paramis, he had studied the ways how things work. He has developed that wisdom. Study means not book. Study means to see various situations, various problems, various sufferings, various difficulties, and the ways out of it. So that he did to fulfill his paramis. Or most important, the parami of wisdom. And when his wisdom and other qualities were fulfilled, then he became the Buddha, became the fully enlightened Buddha. And after becoming fully enlightened Buddha, he knew what is suffering, what is the cause, how suffering can be ended, and what is the way to end the suffering. Very clearly, precisely, very practically, how it can be done. Not some philosophical ways, or not some just theoretical ways or something. Practically, how to make an end of all suffering. That's why Buddha, we say, Buddha was a very wise, he was the wisest of all beings, but at the same point of time, very straightforward and practical. What does he say? Birth is suffering. When people die, people will be crying, people feel sad, or they do lamentation, or they express their sorrow, or whatever it is. But before saying death is suffering, Buddha says much before that, birth is suffering, aging is suffering, sickness is suffering, then he is saying death is suffering. So there's a way, there's a reason to say like this, because all our sufferings ultimately starts from the fact that we are born in this world. Once we are born, we have to undergo changes, bodily changes, mental changes. What we want will happen, or for some time, and then it will not happen, or it will not happen at all. What we don't want will happen, and if we don't want it to continue, it may continue for some time. So, like this, whatever ways, because of the changing nature of the world, because all things just keep on changing. There is nothing one object in this world, in this whole mental and physical, in the realm of mental and physical phenomena, where you can point and say, this one will be stable, this one, if I depend on, this one will stay with me forever. And all this started because we are born in this world. Because if we are not born, then all this, no need. If birth is not there, aging is not there, sickness is not there, death is not there, sorrow, lamentation, nothing is there. Once the birth is destroyed, like the enlightened people who destroyed the birth, the cause of birth and the birth, for them everything else, as soon as they passed away, finally, what we call parinibbana, final passing away. Once they passed away, finish, nothing. No more birth, no more anything. So when we say we take refuge in the Buddha, we take refuge in all the noble qualities that the Buddha manifested. For example, we say, Bhagava, Arahang Samma Sambuddho. Arahang means enlightened. So the Buddha was enlightened. Samma Sambuddho, enlightened, became the Buddha by his own effort. Vijjacharana Sampanno, embodiment of wisdom and virtue. Embodiment of perfect wisdom and perfect conduct. So, like these, the qualities of the Buddha, when we keep them in our mind, then it gives us inner strength, it gives us inner encouragement to practice. In this samsara, we have been born many times, we have died many times, and in the process of being born and living for some time here or there and then dying, we have come across many theories and philosophers and teachers and gurus and this and that. We have come across nothing unusual. The thing is, nobody other than the Buddha could point out to the truth straightforward. This is where the problem is. This is what your problem. This is what the solution is. You do this ritual, you do that ritual, you follow these, you have just faith. When we say we have faith in the Buddha, we don't necessarily encourage blind faith. You just have faith in the Buddha. No. Like, for example, now you meditate. You have come here for meditation, and then you are practicing for almost last 6 7 days, practicing meditation, following certain moral precepts, 5 precepts like this, or 8 precepts. So some people. So, following precepts, practicing meditation, and you can see there has been some improvement in this, as in the way the mind, how it was outside, how it is now. You can see there is maybe some peacefulness, there is some stability, there is some amount of happiness, or whatever you experience. So, there is a value in the words of the Buddha, what he has taught. When you do dana, you feel happy because you are sharing and you are reducing your sense of I-ness, minus, greediness, selfishness, stinginess. So you will feel happy. Because of that, you are reducing. And Buddha says like this: Dana is a way to reduce our defilement. Sila is a way to morality, moral life is a way to reduce our defilement. Meditation is a way to reduce our defilement. So he was not saying you have to do this ritual and then after that, that ritual, and you just have to believe and it will work for you. No, he was not telling. In fact, he was saying you must come and check, not believe. Come and see, come and verify, come and check. Then only once you are convinced that this is working for you, then only you believe. Before that, don't even believe fully. Blindly, don't believe. No need to believe blindly. The Dhamma that Buddha has given is something that is verifiable. You can verify, you can check, you can see it is working or not working. Only when you see it is working for you, then only you believe it. So all these, the qualities of the Buddha that we remember often as the greatest of teacher, the most compassionate one, the perfect in wisdom and conduct, one who knows, Sugato, one who has come in this world and departed from the world, come and departed in the most excellent manner. He has come by fulfilling his paramis and then practiced and became enlightened and then finally left, fulfilling his duty of teaching the Dhamma, giving the path to Nibbana, opening the gate to Nibbana. In his own words, when he was requested by Brahma Sahampati to teach, he said, okay, now seeing there are some beings who can understand, I will teach. Now the gate of the deathless is open. Gate of Nibbana is open. I open the gate. I show the people this way you can go and you will go beyond birth and aging and sickness and death and suffering. You will go beyond. So you remember that he was such a compassionate and great teacher, greatest of all teachers, that he found this highest thing and then he gave it. Also, he gave it in a way which is easily accessible, one can easily understand. Like, for example, when we say Nibbana, it is very high and complicated or very subtle, beyond normal intellect. But the way to reach, the Buddha has given in a simple, clear manner. These are the 8 things, eightfold path you have to practice. Before you reach there, you have to practice these things, you have to develop these things. So develop them. So this is the quality. These are the noble qualities of the Buddha. Like if there is a ship in the ocean, and if there is a storm, or there's a big storm, big waves, sometimes they have to come closer to the shore and put the anchor, so that this ship is safe in the storm. It doesn't get affected, or it doesn't uh, sink. So the qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha, when we recollect them often, when we make a habit of recollection of these qualities, noble qualities, then they are like these anchors. In case of storm in our mind, which tends to destabilize us, our mind, our practice, our progress, this will act as the anchors which will keep you safe during these inner storm in your mind. When you cannot manage, it is too difficult to manage. So then you have to go back to these things. And then the Dhamma, the teachings that he has given. We said, no, very much you can verify, you can check, you can see it is working, not working. Any person, anywhere in this world, during any time, now, thousands of years before, or thousands of years later, cannot say this will work, this will not work, this will work at this time, this will not work, because simple. If there is craving, there will be clinging and there will be suffering. It is universal way of the mind. Same. Craving, clinging, suffering. Same. Whether 20,000 years or 1 lakh years before, now, or 20,000 or 1 lakh year after this, same. Craving is there, clinging will be there, suffering will be there. Same. That's how human mind works. It doesn't depend on the time, because mind can exist. It doesn't depend on the time or culture or society. The way human mind, with the basic inherent mechanism, same. How it was, how it is, how it will be. So Buddha was not talking about things prevalent in those days, certain cultures, certain beliefs, certain rituals, certain practices, the Dhamma that he was giving. He was straight, directly to the main problem, how the human mind works. It works same for everybody. If there is ignorance and there is craving, they will always continue in the suffering. When the ignorance is there, craving is there, suffering will be there. Doesn't depend on the time, doesn't depend on which country, what people believe, what people don't believe. They believe in a god, they believe in no god. They eat this food, they eat that food, they eat in daytime, they eat nighttime, they eat or they wear this type of cloth or that type of cloth. Ultimately, human mind, the way it works, is primarily on the basis of ignorance and craving. And when there is ignorance and craving, suffering will follow. We say, no, these are Indian people, these are American people, these are Korean people, these are European people, or all kinds of things. They are different people, their food is different, their culture is different. These are external things. But the fundamental functioning of the human mind, same. Either there is ignorance and craving, or there is no ignorance and craving. If there is ignorance and craving, world people will think in this way and suffer, create suffering for themselves. If there is no ignorance and craving, automatically the way of thinking, way of approaching the world, way of seeing things will be different. There will be no suffering. So the Dhamma that Buddha has given is very fundamental to the human mind. That's why when people practice the Dhamma, when the Buddha was alive, 2000 or 613 years before, the Buddha gave his first teaching, 2613. And till now, from that time, how people practiced, when people were practicing sincerely, people could attain enlightenment. Now also people practice, those who are practicing or practice seriously, they also can attain enlightenment. Simple. It was not like only at that time only people could get enlightenment. Now it is not possible. No. Buddha was very clear. If people follow this Noble Eightfold Path, they can. Irrespective of the time, they can attain enlightenment. Doesn't matter. So this Dhamma that we practice, we should also keep it as our highest object of honor or veneration or respect. Even the Buddha, after his enlightenment, he was thinking, whom should I honor? Because if I live with I am better than other or this type of attitude, it's not good. Whom should I honor in this world amongst the human beings, among various ascetics and other people, or even amongst the devas or amongst the brahmas or other divine beings? Whom should I honor? Who is better than me in wisdom, in conduct, in attainment, in realization? Then he surveyed the whole universe of all levels of beings. He didn't find one single person better than him. Everybody was they were, of course, with regard to his wisdom, his conduct, his realization, everybody was inferior to him. Then he thought, okay, if there is nobody, no being which is higher than me, at least I should honor this Dhamma. The Dhamma, that the path that I have practiced and attained to this state. I have become the Buddha, so I will honor the Dhamma. If I cannot honor a single person, I will honor the Dhamma as the something very special. So even the Buddha also honored the Dhamma. So when we remember the Dhamma means what is the quality? Suvakhato, so he says Svakhato Bhagavata Dhamma. Well explained. Things are clear. You do this, this will work. You do this, this will work. Sanditthiko, here and now. If you practice, you can see the results here and now. How you came from your home and how you, after meditating, your mind is. You can see. You don't have to ask other people how it was, how it is. And you do for some more days how it is going to be. Akaliko, timeless. The teachings are timeless because they don't depend which time you live, which era you live, which society you live, doesn't depend on this. Because you can still get the same result if you practice. Ehi passiko. Come and see. Buddha was not saying, come and believe. I am the enlightened Buddha. I am giving you the teaching. You have to come and believe. No. He was saying, come and see. Come and verify. Come and check. Come and check. That is important. Don't come and believe. Come and check if it is working. It is workable or not workable. Ehipassiko, opanaiko. And when you practice leading upwards, your mind will gradually go to the higher and higher states. People can either be stingy and selfish, and then their mind is very bad. For small things, they fight with other people. They just want to grab for themselves. and they don't care about other people. On the other hand, somebody else, not stingy, not selfish, generous, then automatically his mind has more happiness and peace. Simple. Which means what? Stingy mind, which is very heavy, like a piece of heavy stone. Generous mind, like lighter, like air. People who don't have any moral precepts, people who don't follow any moral precepts, who have no sense of morality, no sense of right and wrong, no sense of virtue. They just do whatever they do, harming other people, harming oneself. They don't care about anything. Their mind will be full of chaos and confusion and remorse and all kinds of things ultimately. You can hide after doing wrong things. You say you go and kill someone. You may be able to hide from other people, but you will not be able to hide from your own mind because your mind knows. And then that discomfort will follow. Wherever you go, it will not leave you. And when you do the other way around, instead of killing or violence, you are having kindness and compassion for other people, then also your mind knows, and the peacefulness and happiness will follow. Simple. The world is like this. So, Dhamma, when you practice, it takes your minds upwards from the, for example, I always say this, there are 8 billion people, 8 billion people, and human beings. But how many have really the quality of a true human being? By looking like human being, by talking like human being, or by walking or doing things like human being does not make you anything special, does not make you, because eating, sleeping, all kinds of eating, sleeping, answering nature's call, or having sexual relation, all these things, even animals also do. There is no difference between human beings and animals. Only thing that makes human beings special is their intellect, their superiority of intellect or superiority of behavior. Say for example, if you see in a forest, animals always scared, no? Small animals are scared of big animals. Everybody is scared of each other. Who's going to come and kill me? You know, insects are afraid of frogs. Frogs are afraid of snakes. They're always living like this. But generally, you go here from here, you walk through this village. You're not afraid. Oh, somebody will come and kill me. Somebody is always looking to kill me. Which means what? Humans has better sense of virtue than animals still now. But amongst these, I say, if people were to follow these, what is called 5 precepts: not to kill, not to steal, not to commit sexual misconduct, not to tell lies, not to indulge in alcohols and drugs and intoxicants, then we are really superior than all other animals or other living beings in this earth, because our behavior, our virtue, or conduct is elevated, something better, something special. But if human beings, they don't follow these 5 precepts, for example, they do killing, they do stealing, They commit sexual misconduct, they tell lies, they indulge in alcohols and drugs and intoxicants, and then commit crimes or wrong things. Then their behavior and animal behavior, same, no difference. So these five precepts, what make a person human being, below five precept looks like a human being, or talks like a human being, but not fully human being. So open aiko. When you practice the five precept, automatically you are elevated person, elevated than the animal, then just more than your physical appearance or physical existence. You are elevated by your behavior, by your conduct. Pachattang Beditabbo Vinyuhiti. And the wise have to realize by themselves, by practicing, they have to realize, means they have to realize this Nibbana by themselves. If this Dhamma they practice, then they will realize by themselves. That also so clear. They have to realize by themselves. It's not like somebody else will feed you. No, nobody can feed you. Nibbana, realization, liberation from samsara, nobody can feed us. We have to do it ourselves. Simple. Nobody can do it for us. Nobody can give it to us. So you have to recollect these qualities of the Dhamma. When you recollect these qualities of the Buddha, Dhamma, Sangha like this, automatically your mind will have what you call piti, delight, gladness, rapture. When you recollect it correctly with wisdom, a thief or a murderer were to recollect these qualities, they may not have this piti. They may not, because their mind is full of ignorance and craving. But a good person, a reasonably good person, were to recollect with wisdom, they will develop this piti, which is also a factor for deeper meditation. And then the Sangha, the persons who followed the path that the Buddha shown to us, and then practiced very strictly according to the words of the Buddha. They were not looking here and there. Sometimes we look too much here and there. We go to many teachers, many people, many this, that, read many books. Buddha's words are very simple. If you have ignorance and craving, you will suffer. Look right here. Do what you can to remove this ignorance and craving. I am giving you methods. I am giving you methods to remove this ignorance and craving. Eightfold path. So you have to follow these, and you have to wisely follow, mindfully follow, so that you can remove this ignorance and craving. So the Sangha is the all those noble persons, starting from the time of the Buddha. All those noble men and women who have followed and attained realization by themselves, attained Nibbana, attained realization from the time of Buddha till now. So when you recollect their virtues, because they are the ones who have actually realized, so it's not a theory, it's not a story, oh, people may be enlightened, people could be enlightened. No, people have been enlightened. Really. So they have really practiced, really attained. And they have also guided other people. So they are the real virtuous people, the real noble people, because they have attained to the liberation by getting rid of their mental defilements, mental pollutants. They are the real noble ones. Because you see, to reduce even small amount of greed with regard to say food or with regard to other day-to-day small things, not easy, no? So the Sangha, the noble ones, all these great men and women, have actually practiced so well that they have eradicated these things from their heart. So such people are always worthy of respect and honor and reverence because they have done such a wonderful thing. They have achieved which is the most difficult thing to achieve. All other things are not so difficult. You give any worldly goal to a person, reasonably abled person, and you say you do this and you have to work like this and you will be rich and you will be famous and you will be like this, many people will succeed because there is always a strong element of craving. Oh, I will be rich, I'll be famous, I'll be well known, I'll be honored by people. Easy to get such things. People will give me such respect, such honor. People will make way for me, or people will always say yes, yes to me. Then it is very easy because you are following the craving. But the noble ones, the noble disciples of Lord Buddha, they have went against the craving. To attain enlightenment, they have to go against the craving. They went against the craving. Such that is their dedication to Lord Buddha and the Dhamma, that they went against the craving and they have attained. Not just went against, they have actually attained. So you see, that's the special thing, no? Going with the craving, whole world goes with the craving. No big deal. Going against the craving, yes, that's a big deal. And those who go against the craving and fulfill their task, they are really worthy people. That's why we say noble ones. Everybody else is ordinary, they are special. So these are the qualities of the Buddha Dhamma Sangha. Of course, these are very small, in a very small way that I am saying, very small way, or rather very extremely small way I am saying. Even the qualities of the Buddha are so immense and infinite that even one eon also, when one were to say, it is still incomplete. It is so. This Buddha is the embodiment of all the wisdom, all the noble qualities, all the greatness that is found in this whole universe. So it is not like I will say all the qualities of the Buddha in just this short time. It's not like this. But yes, when you remember this, oh, Buddha was the greatest of beings, the noblest and most compassionate of all beings, the wisest of all beings. And he also offered this path, Dhamma, out of his infinite compassion. And the Sangha is the one who followed, who had such great faith in the Buddha, and they followed, and many are still following and attaining and finding freedom from suffering. Then you have encouragement, your inner encouragement, your inner, then your faith in the practice will become strong. Sometimes your faith may waver, Your conviction, your confidence may waver. Can I do? Can I not do? Is it possible? Oh, it is too difficult. I can't do this. It is managing mind is so tough. It is coming like this, coming like that. So when you have this, oh yes, these are the such great things, and I am trying to follow this noble thing. Automatically, challenges will come, but I can remain faithful to the Buddha and the Dhamma and the Sangha, and eventually I will overcome. So this is what we call the triple refuge or triple gem. So you can see in the everyday we chant morning and evening these qualities, Buddha, Dhamma, and Sangha qualities. And English translation is also available. Maybe sometimes afternoon during your rest period or evening break time you can read. And you can also recollect, not just read. Take one quality, for example, Vijjacharana Sampanno, embodiment of wisdom and virtue. Then you recollect, oh, a little bit of virtuous thing people tell me sometimes difficult. Don't tell lies, sometimes lie comes out of my mouth. And the Buddha fulfilled this parami of truthfulness to this highest level. Even one quality, truthfulness. Life after life. Even if you knew if he tells the truth, he may be killed, still he will tell the truth. Such was his conviction to truth. There are lives in the past lives of the Buddha. He could have been killed, but he didn't tell the lie. No. He said, okay, you can kill me, no problem, but I'm not going to tell a lie. You may not go to that level, but at least you can take encouragement. Oh, this is the kind of virtue that the Buddha developed. Just one virtue of the Buddha out of his infinite virtues, just one virtue. Or loving kindness. Even if he knew people were to harm, he wouldn't harm them. That's how it developed. Patience, whatever it is, wisdom, all qualities. To develop even to small extent is sometimes difficult for normal people, and he developed to the highest extent. So that's the greatness of the Buddha. All our life, from birth to death, if we were to pay salutation to the Buddha, still it's not enough what he has attained. But Buddha says there is a way of honoring me, and that more than just paying salutation or more than worldly respect. There is a way, really way of truly way honoring me. That is, do what I have told you, practice what I have told you. Be sincere. If I have told you you should be virtuous, try to be virtuous. Even if there are challenges, still try to be virtuous. If I am told you try to be generous, still try to be generous. Even if you have little, still try to be generous. If I have said try to be mindful, try to be mindful. No, your mind will go up and through ups and downs, but still try. Don't give up. So if you follow these things, if you are committed to the words that I have said, I have taught you, then this is the right way of honoring me. Hmm. So this is the highest way of offering our worship or our salutation or by through the practice of Dhamma, through the practice of his words. So these three refuges, when we recollect them every day, that's why I make it a habit for to recollect. They are always they should always be your highest object of recollection. If you have to recollect something, recollect the Buddha, recollect the Dhamma, recollect the Sangha, and recollect it again and again and again. Oh, this is so noble, so great, so wonderful, so extraordinary. Then your mind will find stability. even if there is even if there is a lot of turmoil sometimes, or ups and downs, or challenges you may be facing, you will be able to overcome them eventually. So this is a very powerful tool that you will have in your Dhamma practice, the refuge of the Buddha and the Dhamma and the Sangha, to take you through all the storms and difficulties and problems of the path up to the attainment of Nibbana. So this much for today. So we conclude the Dhamma discourse here.